Morning, sir.
Solo flight.
May video.
Boss.
Huh?
Kong Ronnie. Boss. Senator Bato de la Rosa, sir. Kong AA.
Hello, Mr. Chair. Good morning.
Boss. Umaga po.
Solo ka dyan na, solo.
Oo nga po, boss. Malungkot.
Good morning, Lieutenant
Wala
Colonel.
na.
Lieutenant Colonel.
Hala ko, may bonus po
Sir.
eh. Senator Coco, sir. Morning po. Kong Bem. Kong Apple.
Morning.
Umaga po.
Sige.
Senator Bongo, sir. Good morning po. Sino? Ma'am, Kong Rico. Morning po.
Good morning, boss.
Kong Nene. Good morning. Blessing ng covered court. Di ho.
Good morning.
Senator Bong Revilla. Morning.
Ay, Strong John, start morning.
Okay,
Pare,
pwede na po. Ready na. Start na po tayo. Again, morning po sa ating lahat. The first meeting of the Committee on National Defense of the Commission Appointments in the third regular session of the 18th Congress is hereby called to order. Mr. Secretary, kindly call the roll.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. The chairperson, Representative Luis John A. Ferrer IV is present. The other officers and members of the Committee on National Defense of the Commission on Appointments, Alvarez Jr.,
Present.
Arbison, De La Rosa,
Present.
Go,
Present.
Lacson, Pimentel III,
Present.
Itong statement ako.
Cagas,
Present.
Chipeco Jr., Noel,
Present.
Pangilinan,
Sir
Oo.
Electric.
Paano to?
Naka-on na. Naka-on na yun.
Okay.
Ramirez Sato,
Present.
Recto, Revilla Jr.,
present.
Villar, Subiri, Zamora,
Present.
Almario, Villanueva, Pancho, Trilon, Advincula,
Present.
Heron.
Present.
With one member present in person and 12 virtually present online, with a total of 13 members present, the existence of a quorum is hereby declared. Mr. Majority Leader. Kong Apple, in volume, audio, please.
Sorry. Mr. Chair, I move that we dispense with the reading of the minutes of the previous meeting held on June 2, 2021 and consider the same as approved.
Is there an objection? Hearing none, the reading of the minutes of the previous meeting held on 2nd of June 2021 is dispensed with and the same is considered approved. Morning, esteemed members of the Committee on National Defense, of the Committee on Commission Appointments, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Today, your committee is tasked to deliberate on the nominations of 3 senior officers in the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Sir, please stand up as your name is called. Ruben B. Fajardo Jr. to the rank of Commodore. Raul P. Villanueva to the rank of Brigadier General. And Andres C. Centino to the rank of Lieutenant General. Thank you, sirs. Secretary, can you report on the jurisdiction requirements and other pertinent information relative to their nomination in compliance to the new rules of the Commission and the new rules of the standing committees?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, Your Honors. The 3 nominations dated August 9, 2021, under consideration today by the committee, were received by the Commission on August 10 and were forthwith referred on the same date by the Senate President and CA Chairperson Vicente C. Soto III to the Committee on National Defense pursuant to Section 16, Chapter 5 of the new rules of the Commission. The said nominations were published on August 11, 2021 in 2 newspapers of general circulation, Manila Times and Manila Standard, and broadcast over PTV4 pursuant to Section 2, Article 2 of the new rules of the standing committees. The 3 nominees complied with the submission of the documentary requirements as provided in Section 24, Chapter 6 of the new rules of the Commission. There was no opposition filed against any of the nominees. That is all, Mr. Chairman, Your Honors.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. And please administer the oath to the 3 nominees.
Please raise your right hands. Do you all swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this proceeding? So help you God. Mr. Chairman, they are now all under oath.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. May we invite Major General Andres C. Centino, nominated to the rank of Lieutenant General, the most senior among the 3 officers now under consideration, to take a seat in front. General Centino, sir, you may now give your opening statement if you have any.
To the Honorable Chair and members of the Committee on National Defense, Commission on Appointments, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I am Major General Andres Centino, the Commanding General of the Philippine Army. I was designated to my present position last May 14, 2021. Prior to my designation, as Commanding General of the Philippine Army, I was the commander of the 4th Infantry Division based in Northern Mindanao and Caraga regions. I was also designated as the chair of the Regional Task Force LCAP Technical Working Group in Region 10, wherein the different government agencies successfully delivered the basic services to the conflict-affected areas in the region, thereby complying with the mandate to ensure the end of the local communist armed conflict in that area. Prior to my designation as the commander of 4th Infantry Division, I was also designated then as the Deputy Chief of Staff for Operations J3, based in General Headquarters. And I have served 3 chiefs of staff under General Marigal, General Clement, and General Santos. During my term as J3, we came up with a fragmentary order to our campaign plan, ensuring that the Armed Forces of the Philippines conduct intensified military operations to comply with the President's order to end the local communist armed conflict within his term. Before the distinguished members of the committee with me are two senior officers, Colonel Ruben Pajardo, the Senior Military Assistant to the Secretary of National Defense, and Colonel Raul Villanueva, the commander of the CESA, also appearing before you for your confirmation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, General. The floor is now open for our members. If there are any inquiry or question, Senator Bongo, you're recognized, sir.
Mr. Chair, would like to express my support and show my deep gratitude to the three senior military officers of the armed forces whose nominations will be confirmed and given consent today. These officers best exemplify bravery, heroism, and dignity, and I thank them for their unwavering service to the Filipino nation and our people. Let me make of record my full support for the nomination of Lieutenant General Andres Centino. Matagal ko na pong kilalang ito na magiting sundalo ito. Dating commander po ng 4th Infantry Division sa Camp Evangelista sa Cagayan de Oro, Misamis Oriental. At kasalukuyang Commander General po ng Philippine Army. He started his military career in 1984 as a cadet officer of the Philippine Military Academy. He served as a platoon leader, Charlie Company, and then 66th Infantry Battalion, 3rd Infantry Division after graduating in 1998, and held significant staff and field positions until his designation as Commanding General of the Philippine Army. Lieutenant General Centeno has also been honored with various distinctions, awarded with a Gold Cross Medal in 2002 for gallantry in action during a series of encounters with heavily armed dissidents in the rebel-infested areas of Pinokpok, Kalinga, Apayao, and San Mariano, Isabela. He was also honored with a Distinguished Service Star in 2021 as Deputy Chief of Staff for Operations for his achievements, among others. Further, allow me to make my commendation and expression of support to Brigadier General Raul Villanueva na naging Philippine Defense and Armed Forces Attaché to Israel Intelligence Service, AFP, and is presently the Deputy Commander Joint Task Force NCR Headquarters, AFP, and to Commodore Ruben Pajardo na naging Defense and Armed Forces Liaison Officer to the Permanent Mission of the Philippines to the United Nations in New York at kasalukuyang Senior Military Assistant to the Secretary of National Defense dyan po sa Camp Aguinaldo. With that, once again, I would like to extend my warmest felicitations and support to each and every one of you for your gallantry and valiant efforts in service of the Filipino nation. Your remarkable contributions to our country only deserves the highest commendation and recognition. Once again, maraming salamat po sa inyong serbisyo sa ating mga kababayan, lalong-lalo na po sa panahon ngayon na nasa gitna tayo ng pandemya. Congratulations to all of you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Maraming salamat po, Senator Bongo. The Chair would like to recognize the presence online of Congressman Jun Chepeco Jr. Welcome po. Senator Bato de la Rosa, sir, you're recognized.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. With the permission of the Chairman, can I ask one question to General Centino?
Go ahead po, sir.
Yeah, General Centino, as you have said, you've been the G3 for about 3 or 4 chief of staffs. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
So, ibig sabihin yan, babad na babad ka dito sa trabaho ng NTF-ELCAC. Alam na alam mo ang NTF-ELCAC. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
So, gusto ko lang marinig, coming from you, being the G3 for quite some time already. Alam ko itong mga trabaho ng LCAC ay dumadaan ito sa iyo. Can you give this committee a complete picture as to kahit na kunting kwa lang, can you quantify and qualify the impact of NTF LCAC to our anti-communist campaign?
Yes, sir. Let me start, sir. I serve 3 chief of staff, as I said earlier, but only covered for a year. Tatlong chief of staff nagpapalit during that period. And as J3, I was one of those principal staff joining the initial meetings when the NTF LCAP was created. On December of 2018, the President signed Executive Order 70, thereby creating the National Task Force LCAP, employing the whole of nation approach to address the prevailing threats of insurgency. With the creation of the NTF LCAP, these were cascaded to the subordinate levels of government in the regions and in the provinces and even up to the municipal levels. From the National Task Force, there were regional task forces created in the different regions and subsequently provincial task forces in the provinces. In this task force, there were 12 clusters created to address the specific prevailing issues that concerns the insurgency. And among these 12, the pledge, the peace, the law enforcement and development cluster is where the AFP, the PNP, and all law enforcement agencies are part of. We believe that the creation of the National Task Force down to the subordinate government levels hastened our effort to address insurgency. For one, the different agencies of government have been compelled by that executive order to do their part in addressing the problems of insurgency. Perhaps it could be recalled in the past, prior to the signing of the executive order, it was mainly tasked to the security sector, to address the problems of insurgency. The Armed Forces of the Philippines, the PNP, were the ones confronting the different threats. As a matter of fact, our soldiers acted as teachers in the far-flung areas. They acted as engineers, as doctors and dentists to provide the services that were very much wanting in the far-flung areas, which the other agencies could not provide then at the time. But with the NTF LCAP, as shown in my experience as the chair of the technical working group of RTF LCAP 10 in Northern Mindanao, all the other agencies were actively participating. And they were together with the Philippine Army personnel and the PNP going to the most remote areas providing the needed services. And this gave us, the armed forces, the Philippine Army particularly, the valuable time and focus to perform their core mandate. Doon na po kami nakatutok sa aming trabaho na habulin talaga ang armado. And upon that creation of this RTF LCAP, we saw the significant increase in accomplishments in terms of reducing the threats. We saw the dismantling of guerrilla fronts. We saw the numerous surrenderies. We saw the big successes militarily because the other agencies were now part of the whole approach in addressing insurgency. So we were relieved of those functions were noong sa una na wala pa yung NTF LCAP, ginagawa din ng mga sundalo natin. So I would suppose, sir, that, yes, sir.
Yeah. Uh, what will happen? What will happen if the NTF LCAC will be defunded next year? Ano
Um,
nakikita mong senaryo?
if sirs, if you would mean to say are we referring to the barangay development program that is being funded, sir?
Yeah.
Um, as we understand it, the barangay development fund, which consists of 20 million per cleared barangays, is intended for development projects. These are not in any way released or being funded for military operations. These are for development projects. Because in the aspect of clearing, the Philippine Army sent out what we call community support teams, composed of composed of foot soldiers, going inside the affected areas, insurgency affected areas, finding out the incessant problems happening in these areas. So, na-identify natin ang mga problema at nakita din natin what interventions are needed. For instance, farm-to-market roads, health centers, irrigation, school buildings. Ito yung nalista natin, which we provided to the local government. At nung na-identify na ito yung nabigyan ng funding as part of the Barangay Development Program. And besides, the fund that will be released for this program will be implemented by the local government.
Kaya nga, I will cut you short there. Anong mangyari? Anong mangyari kapag i-defund yung LCAC next year? Anong magiging impact nito sa peace and order situation ng Pilipinas?
Sir,
Kasi I have heard that other members of the Congress are trying to defund LCAC next year because for fear na gagamitin daw itong pundo ng LCAC for elections. So, granting na ma-defund ang LCAC, ano mangyayari sa peace and order situation ng ating bansa?
Sir, in my belief, sir, the security situation in these areas are actually pegged on the absence of government services. So itong pondo na gagamitin is indeed to address the root causes of insurgency. At kung hindi natin ito ma-address, for instance, in the event that projects will not be implemented, the root causes will remain. Thereby, perhaps the problem will continue to exist.
Okay, thank you very much for that answer because I for one I agree with you. Itong mga bundok dito ngayon sa Davao region na previously hindi talaga mapasok-pasok kahit na isang kumpanya ng army, hirap na hirap pasukin dahil nga sa dami ng NPA. Ngayon, pinapasok na namin anywhere. Nagmumotorsiklo lang kami, nagtitrail riding kami. Anywhere dito sa lahat ng bundok ng Compostela Valley Province or Davao Occidental, yung boundary ng Bukidnon at ng Davao City. Magtatanong ka doon sa mga tao doon, sabi nila, kung may mga NPA pa ba dito, sabi nila, sir, si paglayasa na sir, dahil natatakot sa LCAC. Maganda talagang ginawa ng gobyerno ngayon. That's based on my personal experience. So I really support the funding of LCAC. Kaya nga gusto kong expound mo ng mabuti before this body how important is LCAC to the peace and order situation of our country, lalong-lalo na sa insurgency. So maraming salamat sa sagot mo. And Mr. Chairman, I just would like to manifest my support to the endorsement of these three officers to the plenary. Itong mga opisyal na ito, kilala ko ito since our cadet days. Magagaling po ito, matitino, and talagang they are abiding by the honor code of the academy. Kaya suportado ko itong tatlo na ito. That's all, Mr. Chairman. Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat po, Senator Del Rosa. In addition lang po, sa sinabi ni General Centino, I appeal to our colleagues, no, members of CA, to convince our colleagues, no, sa Congress na suportahan ng NTF-ELCAC. Talaga hong dati-rati ang focus kasi ng AFP na-divert ho. Kasi hindi lang they're running after yung mga insurgents, pati nga as kwento ni Judge Centino, they act as teachers, they act as doctors, engineers, kasi sa infra sila ang pwede. So, ngayon ho, lahat ng agencies natin, DSWD, DPWH, DILG, DOH, DepEd, PNP, lahat, tulong-tulong. So, huwag naman ho sana mawala yung pondo. O kung worst case, ma-reduce man lang, i-reduce, yung pondo na mawawala, baka po pwede ilagay sa mga ibang agencies concerned, particularly para sa barangay development, at sila na mag-i-implement. No? So, naintindihan ko po yung importance ng ating LCAC. So, sana naman po ay hindi matuloy yung sinasabi ni Senator Bato. Before I proceed, I would just like to acknowledge the presence of Senator Cynthia Villar, online presence po ni Senator Cynthia. Welcome, ma'am. And we'd like to recognize, give the floor to Senator Bong Revilla.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a short manifestation of support. I would like to extend my support to our three nominees led by Major General Andres Centino, who is nominated to the rank of Lieutenant General and currently the Commanding General of the Philippine Army. Major General Centino is a veteran combat officer and tactician who has vast experience in conflict-torn areas of the country. He was also recognized for his exemplary work in AFP management and fiscal office for his accomplishing his task with utmost efficiency and transparency. We are confident that you will continue your effective management and stewardship in the years to come, and as you rise even higher in the AFP leadership. May I also convey my support to Colonel Raul Villanueva, who is nominated to the rank of Brigadier General and is well regarded for his expertise in cyber security and electronics and his unblemished service record. And Captain Ruben Fajardo Jr., who is nominated to the rank of Commodore, a decorated officer for his extensive knowledge and experience in naval special warfare. My snappy salute to all the gentlemen in uniform. Kinikilala po namin ang inyong mahabang panahon na pagsisilbi at mga naging sakripisyo para sa ating bansa. Kaya mabuhay po kayo. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Maraming salamat po, Senator Bong Revilla. Are there any other member who wish to give their manifestation or question? Congressman Bem Noel.
Thank you, Kuya. Mopay nga aga to all the members of the commission. While we are not in Anwaray opposing any of the nomination, may I particularly endorse the confirmation of Kuyang Andy Centino. His achievements has already been expounded by our senators. He is a Tacloban born and Cebuano raised officer. Maupay nga aga, sir. And that of Raul Villanueva, who I've known, served under my father-in-law, then General Lacson. May I, Mr. Chairman, endorse and second their confirmation when the plenary comes. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Congressman Kuyang Mem Noel. The chair would like to recognize the presence of Senator Joel Villanueva. Good morning po. Any other member who wish to manifest or any questions to our nominees? There being none, Majority Leader. Audio, Kong Apple audio again. Your audio, please. Kong Apple. Kong Apple, wala.
Hello, Mr. Chair, can you hear me now?
Okay, okay
Mr.
na.
Chair. Yes. Mr. Chair, I move that the committee recommends to the plenary for the commission to give its consent to the nominations of Andres C. Centino to the rank of Lieutenant General, Raul P. Villanueva to the rank of Brigadier General, and Ruben B. Fajardo Jr. to the rank of Commodore. I so move, Mr. Chair.
There any objection? Chair is none. Motion is hereby approved.
Mr. Chair, there being no matters to discuss, I move to adjourn the meeting.
Any objection? Hearing none, on motion of the Majority Leader, there being no objection, the meeting is hereby adjourned. Congratulations po.
Congratulations.
All members of the commission are requested to stay online as we request the Senate President to come over for the plenary.
On behalf po of the Defense Committee of the Commission of Appointments, we'd like to wish a belated happy birthday to our Chairman, Senate President Tito Soto. Palakpakan po natin.
Salamat, salamat. Thank you very much. Thank you. The first plenary session of the Commission on Appointments in the third regular session of the 18th Congress
Ay.
is hereby called to order.
Nag-kami si
Let us all pause for a
Session
minute
kami si
of silent prayer.
Tawagin ako sabi niya. Oh, tige.
Thank you. Please remain standing for the singing of the Philippine National Anthem.
Bayang mag-ibig, telas ang silanganan, palang na puso, sa katiyak mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyang ka ng mag-ibig, sa manlulubi, di ka pasisingil, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit kong bota, may dilagang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng watama mo'y tagumpay na nagtitinig, ang bituin ng araw niyang kailan pa may di magtitingin. Lupa ng araw na hangin pagsinta, buhay langit sa tiling mo. Ang ligaya dapat may mga-api, ang mamatay lang dahil sa'yo.
Thank you. The Secretary will please call the roll.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. The honorable members of the Commission on Appointments, Advincula,
Present.
Almario, Alvarez Jr.,
Present.
Arbison, Caucus, Chipeco Jr., De La Rosa,
Present. Present.
Drilon, Ferrer IV,
Present.
Heron, Go,
Present.
Lacson, Noel, Pancho,
Present.
Pangilinan,
Present.
Pimentel III,
Present.
Po, Ramirez Sato,
Present.
Si
Recto, Revilla Jr.,
Present.
Villanueva,
Present.
Villar,
Present.
Zamora, Pili.
Present.
The chairperson is present.
With one member physically present and 16 members present online, for a total of 17, the chair declares the existence of a quorum. Majority Leader?
Mr. Chair, I move to dispense with the reading of the journal of the plenary session held on June 2, 2021 and consider the same as approved.
Any objection? Chair hears none. The journal is approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Chair, may I ask the Secretary General of the Commission to read the communication dated June 3, 2021 from the Senate Secretary Attorney Myra Marie de Villarica on the election of Senator Francis Kiko Pangilinan as member of the Commission on Appointments, Vice Senator Risa Ontiveros, effective July 1, 2021 to June 30, 2022.
All right. Secretary is hereby directed to read the communication dated June 3 from the Senate Secretary.
June 3, 2021. The Honorable Senate President Vicente C. Soto III, Chairman, Commission on Appointments, PNB Building, Macapagal Avenue, Pasay City. Attention, Attorney Hector Villacorta, Secretary of the Commission. Sir, I have the honor to inform you that on June 2, 2021, the Senate elected Senator Francis Kiko Pangilinan as member to the Commission on Appointments, Vice Senator Risa Hontiveros, effective July 1, 2021 to June 30, 2022. Very truly yours, signed Attorney Myra Marie D. Villarica, Senate Secretary.
Therefore, the election of Senator Francis Pangilinan as member of the Commission on Appointments is hereby noted. Majority Leader.
Mr. Chair, may I ask that Senator Francis Kiko Pangilinan takes his oath as member of the Commission on Appointments.
Senator Francis Pangilinan is asked to raise your right hand and read your oath.
Ako si Francis Kiko Pangilinan ng Senate of the Philippines, GSIS Building, Financial Center, Rojas Boulevard, Pasay City, na inahalal sa katungkulan bilang kasapi ng Commission on Appointments, ay taimtim na nanunumpa na tutuparin ko ng buong husay at katapatan sa abot ng aking kakayahan ang mga tungkulin ng aking kasalukuyang katungkulan at ng mga iba pang pagkaraan nito'y gagampanan ko sa ilalim ng Republika ng Pilipinas, na aking itataguyod at ipagtatanggol ang saligang batas ng Pilipinas, na tunay na mananalig at tatalima ako rito, na susundin ko ang mga batas, mga kautusan legal at mga dekretong pinaiiral ng mga sadyang tinakdang may kapangyarihan ng Republika ng Pilipinas, at kusa kong babalikatin ang pananagutang ito nang walang anumang pasubali o hangaring umiwas. Kasihan nawa ako ng Diyos.
Thank you. Congratulations, Senator Pangilinan.
Thank you,
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Majority Leader.
Mr. Chair, I move that Senator Francis Kiko Pangilinan be elected as chairperson of the Committee on Agrarian Reform.
Any objection? Hearing none, Senator Pangilinan is elected. Majority Leader.
Mr. Chair, can I proceed now, Mr. Chair?
Yes, yes, yes. Please proceed.
Mr. Chair, I would like to manifest that pursuant to Section 5, Chapter 2 of the new rules of the Commission, Senator Francis Kiko Pangilinan is deemed member of all standing committees.
The membership of Senator Francis Pangilinan to all standing committees is hereby noted. Majority Leader, continue.
Mr. Chair, may we now proceed to consider the recommendation of the Committee on the National Defense on the nominations of 3 senior officers of the Armed Forces of the Philippines.
Yes, hearing no objection, we may proceed. Would you like to?
Mr. Chair, I
Yes,
move
go
that
ahead.
the chairperson of the Committee on National Defense, Representative Luis John Ferrer IV, be recognized.
Representative Luis John Ferrer IV is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chairman, distinguished members of the Commission Appointments, this representation as Chairman of the Committee on National Defense presided over a public hearing this morning to deliberate on 3 nominations of senior officers in the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Your committee, after deliberating on their qualifications and fitness during the public hearing, determined that they are all fit and qualified to be promoted to the ranks where they are nominated, and therefore ruled to recommend to the plenary for the commission to give its consent to 3 nominations of senior officers in the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Andres C. Centino, the Commanding General of the Philippine Army, to the rank of Lieutenant General. So moved, Mr. Chair.
Any objections? Hearing none. Approved.
Raul P. Villanueva, to the rank of Brigadier General. So moved, Mr. Chair.
Any objection? Hearing none. Approved.
Ruben B. Fajardo Jr., to the rank of Commodore. So moved, Mr. Chair.
Any objection? Chair hears none. Approved.
That is all, Mr. Chair. Your Honors, salamat po.
Thank you, Representative Ferrer. Majority Leader.
Mr. Chair, there being no other matters to discuss, I move to adjourn.
Any objection? Hearing none. The session is hereby adjourned.
Congratulations, boss.